And we're back. In the last video, we were comparing the tassel, and this looks decent compared to this other piece here. Like I said, they don't have to be exact. We're not trying to win any blue ribbons. Just making a neat little beginner carving that you can practice with, and the more you do, the better they get. So at this point, we have got the brim of the hat, we've got the hat sloped, we've got the fold over, we've got the tassel made, we've got the nose defined. Now it's time to do a little work around the corners of the nose and make the mustache, and then we'll make the cheeks. And then this particular series of videos will be completed for the Santa Claus ornament to be roughed out. And then we'll do another one that will come back and show us how to do the details of the hair, which is really neat, and that's really a lot of fun to do. And then after that, we'll be ready to do some wood burning and painting. So in order to do the nose, what we want to do is we want to make sure that everything's cleaned up around the nose like we want it. And like I said in one of the other sections earlier, that this particular project is done just with a knife. The roughing out is done with this knife, and then when we go to do the details of the hair and everything, that'll be with the detail knife. So what we want to do is we want to locate the corner of the nose, and that slight angle that I made earlier, cutting off the sharp corner of the nose, actually serves a purpose at this point besides making it look a little nicer. We want to take the blade of the knife, and we just want to come in here, and we want to stab it straight in. And then we want to come back, and we're going to actually make a triangle here. Just want to come in at a little bit of an angle. Want to stab in again. And so right now, hopefully you can see this in the video, we've got an angle cut here and an angle cut this way. Then we're going to come in here and just lay the blade into it, and we're going to pry that triangle chip out. So it makes a triangle on the side of the nose. We're going to do the same on this other side. And there again, we want to make sure that we've got everything cleaned up around the nose the way that we want it. So start making these cuts. We really can't come back and remove a whole lot of more wood around it because we missed cleaning something up. So take the knife blade and that slope cut, we're going to just push it in a little bit, and we're going to come back out here, and we want to cut out. So we've got our makings of our triangle cuts. We come in with our knife, throw it in, and so now we've got a triangle cut. Just about have a triangle cut on both sides the way we want it. So now we're ready to grab our pencil and do some drawing. And if you remember our mark we had at the mouth a while ago, it's still here faintly. If it wasn't, we could measure back up. But that's 3/4 of an inch, half to 3/4 of an inch down from the base of the nose. We'll just make a little line. Don't want to make it a big long line, but that's just where the mustache is going to come back up in, and that's going to be the mouth. So now the angle that we cut this triangle at kind of dictates the direction. So I'm going to try to draw this in here where you can see it. We want to extend the side of the mustache at an angle down to there. And we want to match that up on this side. So we're dropping below the point where the mouth is, and then we'll just bring this back up. We want to be careful. We don't want to get all the way into this cut here. We want to leave a little room, because as we come down here, that's going to open this up a little bit. We don't want to run into real estate there. Run out of real estate. Let's bring this, eyeball it here, and then bring this side back up into the point where the mouth will be, and there's our mustache. So now we're ready to make our defining lines around the mustache. We want to come back up, and at the corner of this triangle cut that we made, we want to make a stop cut that follows this line that we just made down to the base of the mustache. And we want to do the same thing on this side. Being careful not to let our knife slip out. And if you'll notice, I don't know if you can see it, but the cut actually extended a little further where my drawing was. So I want to be careful on that side that I don't go any further than I have to. We'll turn the carving back up this direction and use the base, or use the blade of our knife at an angle, and just a slight angle back into that stop cut. Now be careful when you turn that corner coming into the base of the mustache. It's real easy to split that wood out. It'll cut off part of your mustache. You got to be real careful here. Just slow and easy does it. Then we can kind of trim this back up towards the nose a bit. Just to clean it up a bit, because we don't want it to be obvious after these cuts here that we made those triangles. We want to even it up. We don't want those triangles to be seen. Those are just an aid in making sure that everything gets in place. So we come back on this side, angle back into it, and again, be careful as you round this corner. Cut down. And I actually messed up. I should have made another cut first. So let's go ahead and make that cut. Before we made these angle cuts, we should have came in and made our stop cut from the mouth back to the mustache. So let's go ahead and do that now before we go any further. Just start in there, cut back to the line that we just made. Do the same on this side. It comes back into this stop cut that we made. It makes a corner for our mustache. So now we can come back here and cut back down into that and clean up this corner. And like we did on the other side, we can clean up this triangle a little bit so that it's not so obvious that we had a defined triangle there. So now, I like to come back after I get this cleaned up here. And instead of angling in on the mustache like I did these cuts, we're going to come in from beneath and cut up into those top cuts at the bottom of the mustache that we just made. So it's kind of the opposite of what we were doing. And here, do the same thing on this side. Cut up and in. You want to be careful that you don't take his mustache out. We don't want to break his mustache. Otherwise he'll look strange with only half a mustache. I just come back up, clean those pieces out a little bit. So now we're starting to see the definition of the mustache as compared to the rest of the face. And we kind of smooth this down a little bit because his mustache is going to overhang his chin. And other than this groove here, we're not going to really have any other definition of the mouth. We're not going to carve a tongue or teeth. And we're really not going to paint any different. We'll just lower this terrain here a little bit. Now we can come back and after we're happy with our mustache, and come back and soften this side here, just barely shaving this angle. Just barely shaving it. And do the same on this side, just barely shaving this sharp angle we made because of the stop cut and then the cut back into the stop cut. And then we're going to soften this angle here of the mustache. And do the same on this side. That looks like I've made his mustache a little lopsided. But there again, just build some character. Maybe he had issues when he was shaving this morning. So now we've got our mustache outlined. And we're ready to do the cheeks. And I believe we'll be done. So let's start one more section of the video. And we'll do those cheeks.